10 hot YouTube, it's your boy Majorr Specter here, back to bring you another video. On today's episode, we got some week 5 of the Pokemon Battlers Association, or PBA for short. Today, we have ourselves some match against Coach New York Red Boffalants, Sky, and as you can see on your screen, he brought the Rotom, the Ninetales, the Chestnut, the Regirock, the Latios, and the Braviary. Now the only thing that's on here that took me by surprise is the Braviary, but I did expect that it was possible because I have the Bloom. On our screen, we have Ariel, Freddy Frack, and Autumn. We have the newly, I was naming it Mansion for what the King Nappy normally names his. But I decided to change the name to Shofu because, if you know, the YouTuber Shofu, Darmanitan's one of his favorite Pokemon and was his channel icon for the longest time. We brought a boy, Dragonite, aka Dragontail, and then we brought Scorpio, the Drapion, because I want to knock off anything that the Rotom Wash and or the Regirock has, and I brought Uxie just because it's a tank and it can pretty reliably kill things. Also, it was kind of my counter to the Rotom Wash. So yeah. So I decided to lead with Drapion. Like I said, I just want to knock off anything that I can. So he brings in the Rotom. I'm like, he's gonna go for Willow. I really don't want this Rotom sitting here being a pain in the ass, so I'm gonna take a loss here and knock off the leftovers, which is exactly what I thought he would have. He goes in for the Will-O-Wisp, which hurts me. By the way, I was defensive Drapion this week. I get the burn. I'm like, not really anything I can do to this Rotom, so I'm gonna swap out into my dedicated Rotom counter this week, which is the Uxie. And he comes in and he's gonna Volt Switch as predicted. I'm gonna eat that like it's nothing. Still does almost 20% damage, so it's unfortunate because I can't really do too many of those trades. He goes into the Latios, which is exactly what I was expecting. Now, I could have gotten ballsy, but I decided to go for the safe play, and I decided to swap back out to Drapion because Drapion, before it got burned, completely countered Latios. Like I said, I'm Assault Vested, so if I was not burned, this knockoff would be doing double the damage. So I decide to just knock off. I know that now I'm burned, I don't counter this Latios, but it's fine. I have Dragonite in the back, which is a counter. This Drapion doesn't really do anything else for me. It's not really a big thing. Yeah, it walls the Ninetales, but eh. So I decide knock off, double that if I'm not burned. So as you can see, I'm dealing about 50% damage after one knockoff. He's going to Calm Mind again, probably scouting the Assault Vest. I'm going to knock off again because it's the biggest damage that I can put out. Unfortunately, not burned. That Latios probably goes down. If not, it's very close. He Dragon Pulses, takes me out because even with the Assault Vest, I cannot live a Latios that is at like 1,000 special attack. So I decided to go into the Dragonite, free kill here because I'm scarfed to make sure that I kill the Latios, and he probably knows that, so there's no sense in swapping something out because it's not going to take an Outrage any better than this Latios would. He's going to go into the Regirock now, because he's like, obviously, massive bulk on the Regirock. I'm locked into Outrage, so unfortunately I have to come in, BAM! Still do a crap ton of damage on the Regirock, even with its crazy defenses. So, yeah, he's gonna Stealth Rock. Thankfully, I get confused here, and I can swap out, because of that Rocky Helmet, I cannot stay in and keep trading with this Regirock. Unfortunately. I did have Earthquake, but I was locked into Outrage, both because of the move effect and the Scarf. So I decided to go into the Tapu Fini, and I know he's going to swap out here. He actually goes for the Thunder Wave, which surprises me. I get a free leftovers. I think he was expecting me to stay in, but I didn't want that. So right here is where I get the free defog off. Ariel cannot 1v1 a Rotom, so after I get this defog out, I'm like, time for me to get to fuck up out of this bitch. So I decide to hard swap once again into my counter for the Rotom, being the Uxie. And Uxie comes in clean. Rotom goes in for that Volt Switch. Once again, he's dealing a lot of damage. I cannot keep trading with this Rotom. Once I get down to below 50%, I cannot trade with the Rotom, because I cannot one-shot with Energy Ball, which is what I was packing this week. Now, I'm expecting a U-turn here, and I have enough defense to easily live this Braviary's hit. I think he was calculating me to not run defense, but I purposely ran defense to counter the Braviary, in case he brought it. And he's going to obviously switch into the Ninetales, because that's the only thing he has that's really going to appreciate a Psychic type attack. And the only reason I say that is because everything else on his team is damaged or super affected by it. And he's going to come in, and he's actually running leftovers, which is fairly unique. Was expecting Life Orb, and he gets a crit with the Flamethrower, which definitely mattered, because this coming turn I was going to rest, and I was going to Sleep Talk, and hope the next turn, and hope for a Psyshock or a Calm Mind. Was I running Sleep Talk? No, I don't think I was running Sleep Talk. But I could have just rest-stalled him out. He Energy Balls, as predicted, but that's fine. Tapu Fini, one of the most bulky mons in the game. Easy Scald, kills the Ninetales. And then, I believe he swaps into the... I want to say the Chestnut. I don't remember what he swapped. No, he goes into the Rotom. Once again, I don't really want to stay in. It's gonna Volt Switch. And I don't want any of that. So, Rotom comes in. Obviously, Volt Switch on Autumn. But I resist that, which is fine. Still does a lot of damage because my special defense is not great. He's going to go into the Braviary, and here I don't understand his play. He returns, probably thinking that I'm not defense invested, but I am max attack, max defense invested, so I live that return. I put him to sleep, obviously, being the smart decision here. I knew he was going to swap into the Chestnut, so, because everything else is horrible decision, so I get a free Swords Dance up, and I then can trade with the Chestnut, no problem, because my attack is way higher than his, and my Drain Punch is dealing a lot more than his. So Drain Punch, get a bunch of my health back because Misty Terrain is up. I unfortunately don't get the Toxic Orb until this exact turn, when the Misty Terrain runs out. Toxic Orb goes up, And then I can proceed to just Drain Punch this Chestnut to death. And I make a pivotal mistake. I could have 4-0'd him. I make a pivotal mistake here. I roll the dice, and I shouldn't have rolled the dice because my luck is absolutely horrendous. I probably should have calced it after the fact, but I'm pretty sure a Drain Punch from here kills the Braviary. So if I Drain Punch the Braviary, there is not a thing it can do to live the hit. I'm fairly certain. But I get cocky, wanting to make sure that I can close out the game. I Swords Dance up, and of course, you know where this is going. Braviary wakes up this turn and Brave Birds me into oblivion. Autumn, even with your fairly good defense and your fairly good HP, you're not living a quad weak hit. So Autumn goes down. I then make a play to go into Shofu, and he's like, well, I don't think he calced it, but I'm pretty sure Brave Bird from that range killed. But he didn't want to take the risk. He goes into Regirock. I Rock Slide because I'm like, well, he's probably gonna stay in, and if I live, I kill the thing. And he doesn't, so he goes into the Regirock. I Superpower because I know I can kill the Regirock because it's at 43% health. On top of that, Darmanitan's one of the best wall breakers in the game, so he goes into Rotom, and I decide to swap into Dragonite and lock myself into Outrage on the next turn. At this point, he has to sack the Rotom, otherwise the Braviary dies for free, and the next turn when he brings the Rotom in, I kill the Rotom. That's a 3-0. I could have gotten a 4-0, and I could have gotten a 3-0, depending on the circumstances, but I made a few misplays, and I didn't end up getting those victories, which is pretty self-explanatory. He goes into the Braviary. At this point, I believe that he's banded. He actually Brave Birds, and I said GG expecting me to outspeed because I expected banned, because he's only U-turned and stayed in or hard swapped. So he's Scarfed, and at this point, the GG, I'm thinking it's over for me. I know it's going to be close on the Tapu Fini. I know it's going to be close on the Darmanitan. He ends up killing the Darmanitan, that's fine. So now I'm thinking it's probably over, because I'm not going to get the extra health on the Tapu Fini, and I am relatively low on health to live something that hits so hard. So he's going to Brave Bird, obviously, because he's locked into it, and Tapu Fini, once again, being the beautiful woman that she is, just eats that hit. Scald, knocks out the Braviary. Could have had a 4-0, could have had a 3-0, end up having a 1-0. I will take it. Very hard fought match. And once again, we are back on the winning page. You guys may notice there is not a week 4 match. That is because the original episode that I recorded was corrupted because I'm unlucky, and on top of that, it's not an interesting match because, spoilers, I got absolutely shat on by Stall. So, I want to thank you guys for watching the video, and I will see you guys in the next week's video. Goodbye, this is Major,